the very beginning, since it was introduced by the Jobs Act, and Congress took 365 days. You, sir, have the company that has leveled the playing field for alternative gas and our independence of foreign oil. You have leveled that playing field. Now you've also leveled the playing field because your investment in the past would only have been available to a very selective few investors, what they're called qualified investors. And now by you qualifying your company with the Securities and Exchange Commission, you have actually leveled the playing field. So every American that believes in alternative fuel or alternative energy can actually participate and take a little piece of this company and watch this thing grow from the very beginning, because you're not a startup in any means. I mean, you have your plant out in Oregon. You have 3.5 acres under roof. You guys are going to be pumping out these stations that convert the gas, and you're going to be sending this around, East Coast, West Coast. Imagine everybody, but I want everybody to understand, listening to the Reg A Money Show, that Mr. Tate is a qualifier. So when we talk about on the show qualifiers and up-and-comers, Mr. Tate's American Gas and Technology Company, they've already done all the hard work. Now they're just sitting back and waiting for you guys out there to participate in their offering. So this is a great opportunity if you guys were thinking about getting involved in any Reg A's or anything like that. We're not making any recommendations on the show, but this is something definitely that you guys should look into, because we have Mr. Tate on the show because he has such a great company that deserves for everyone to listen to his message and if you want to be involved, give him a call and contact him, because it's just a great thing that you've done. And we're big believers in Reg A here, Mr. Tate. So
absolutely. And Miguel, before we close out this show, maybe we should go to a couple of full disclosure questions for Ray, because we're kind of running out of time.
Yeah. All right. So Mr. Tate, what we'd like to do here on the Reg A Money Show is we kind of like to do a disclosure questionnaires with our guests, so that way our listeners are able to kind of get to know you a little personally. So, how about this? Since you talked a little bit about that you've been involved in technology and in technology companies, can you remember back to the day where you actually put your hands on the very first computer and what that computer was like?
Sure. My first one, I think, was a Vector. It had an 8-inch floppy disk. I think I paid $30,000 for that. And I think it had less computing power than the handheld computer I can buy at Walmart for $18.
Isn't that amazing? All right, so now here's another one. So say you're up in Oregon. Is that where you're located currently? Where your plant is?
The plant is here, but I've only been here 2 years, buying and renovating this. I grew up in Silicon Valley in the middle of the computer industry.
Oh, excellent. All right, so we go to your new favorite spot. We pony up to the bar, and what are you ordering from the bartender?
Well, I think I'll have a glass of wine.
Nice. Red or white?
Oh, Merlot would be fine.
Merlot would be fine. Spoken like a true West Coast. All right. And now here's our very last thing. So we understand that you grew up in Silicon Valley. We understand that you've always been around the gas industry. But if you had to do it all again, Mr. Tate, and you had to pick something, if you weren't doing gas and you weren't doing technology, what do you think Ray Tate Jr. would be doing?
Well, I think I would be doing exactly what I'm doing. I'm having a ball. I quit school in the 6th grade, and the former president of Chrysler worked for me. The former president of Holly Carburetor worked for me. The guy who developed Pong for Atari has been working for me off and on for 20 years. And under him, when he was at Atari, Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs were his apprentices. So I'm working with some really great guys.
That's awesome, Mr. Tate. That's awesome.
I enjoy working, and I like doing what I'm doing.
That is awesome. And just so everybody understands, you finished you came out of school at 6th grade, but you had the Pong developer who had Bill Gates and Wozniak under him working for you as a 6th grader. Finishing school. That's an amazing story. And now look how far you've come, and it's, just congratulations on that. Also, congratulations on your qualification with the Securities and Exchange Commission. We understand, that it's not a very easy process to get through. We talk about it all the time here. And just to close off the show, Mr. Tate, because we have a lot of business owners that are considering and thinking of Reg A. We have a lot of investors that are thinking. What do you think would be your advice for a guy, who's coming up, who doesn't have the level of success that you have currently, but who's coming up the chain? What's that one piece of advice that you would give them in your career? What's the one piece of advice that you would give that person in regards to, if they go public or stay private or just to go for it? What do you think would be that advice that you would give somebody like that?
Well, raising money is so hard. And let me just say that we're also looking for people who want to serve as finders to help sell our securities, because most broker-dealers won't touch them. They will after we get listed and after we've sold out, $10 or $20 million worth. So I would say that go for the Reg A+. It is the right document. It sidesteps that 1933 and 1934 law that keeps rich people rich and poor people poor. It's your chance to step out and fund your idea and make it. But if you just follow the crowd, you're just going to be working for somebody else.
Well put. Yeah. Excellent.
I also think that if you're a fleet owner out there that's got vehicles that you want to run on liquid natural gas, send us an email and let us know, and we'll put you on the list for fleets that want to get converted. If you're looking for something to do and you want to go tell others about our securities, we pay a finder's fee. So we would rather give it to finders than we would broker-dealers that we call bankers.
That's
awesome.
Okay, Mr. Tate, I love your style. I'm a big fan just from listening. I hope that you stay a friend of the shows and we can count on you for maybe some more segments, and maybe in a couple of months we catch up with you as you're rolling out your stations, and maybe you come back on the show and be a friend of the show, so that way your encouragement and your information and the wealth of information that you have, you can share it with our listeners and with us, and we certainly would appreciate it. And thank you so much for joining us today here on the Reg A Money Show with Ron Costa and me, Miguel Dotred. It was a real pleasure having you on the show, Mr. Tate. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us, and we'll do it anytime you like.
Perfect. Well, folks, you're listening to the Reg A Money Show. We are at www.regamoney.com. You can also find our new site at www.ipo2go.com. That's TOGO. And lastly, find us on one of our syndication sources. We're on iHeartRadio. We're on SoundCloud. We're on iTunes. We're on Stitcher. And, of course, here on the Spreaker platform. So thanks for listening, and we'll be back at you next week with another Reg A Money Show. Have a good week, folks. Excellent.